It's time now for the latest news on what's hot and what's not in the world of technology with Matthew Dickerson on Tech Talk.
Morning, Matthew. How are you?
I love it. We've got it nailed there now.
We've got it now. After about 3 weeks, we've got it right.
That's very good, thank you.
Oh dear, your intro, very good. Look, I am really impressed with this piece of information you give us. A press-on sticker can monitor your health. This
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Well, one of the things that's a real problem for people is when they've got some health issues where they need to be monitored, they might go into a laboratory situation or even a hospital, have a whole heap of leads plugged all over them, plugged into a machine, and then they say just relax and act naturally, which is pretty hard to do when you've got cords and cables and leads plugged all over you. And they've come up now, some researchers have come to the point where they've got this in a trial phase, not being rolled out yet, but it's basically a press-on sticker. So it's about the size of, say, 2 matchboxes in terms of its surface area there, but only the thickness of maybe 2 or 3 millimetres. And it presses on, so you stick it onto various parts of your body. So you still have that little bit of unpleasantness with that, but then it transmits wirelessly to devices that are set up nearby. So it's a very low power transmission, very small batteries inside, and this is to do with the advances made in both the delivery of actual data over the air, but also battery technology. So you can leave those stuck on, you can go to bed, you can sleep in them, you can leave them on for days at a time, and the idea is it will monitor various aspects of your body and obviously help save lives.
Well, I mean, so they can look at blood pressure, they can look at all those sorts of things. What about adapting to, say, something like sleep apnea?
That's exactly one of the cases that they're working on in the very beginning, because sleep apnea, you need to monitor someone overnight, and again you want them to act naturally and sleep naturally to be able to monitor what's happening with your breathing and with your lung capacity, with your heart rate. But all those things need various leads, and it's pretty hard to sleep naturally with all those leads hanging off you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's a perfect example, and that's one of the first uses that they'll use this for.
I think it's a sensational bit of technology, that, and I really hope that that comes to fruition and it's used right across the world. Now, Instagram influencers, well, this Tiffany Mitchell's caused a bit of a stir. What's the story?
So Tiffany had a motorbike accident, which is terrible, and that could happen to anyone that rides a motorbike. But she just happened to have one of her friends, a professional photographer, with her when she had the motorbike accident. And as she laid on the ground with her branded bottle of water sitting in front of her, and she name-checked her tattoo artist, saying that her tattoo artist name inserted here will have to touch up some of her tattoos after her accident, and had a couple of motorbike helmets, not sure why she had 2, but a couple of motorbike helmets at the very front of the shot with the brand showing quite prominently.
Yeah.
And so people were feeling very sorry for her and how terrible it was that she had an accident. And then people started to smell a bit of a rat here. Maybe it was just a bit too staged, a bit too convenient that she had a professional photographer friend there. And in the end, people have turned on her quite severely and really have started to take out their frustration with Instagram influencers being fake. And one thing that people really want is genuine advice, genuine endorsements, not someone who sets up a motorbike accident to get some sympathy and then plug some products along the way.
Yeah, I just thought, I was pleased she was found out, but it was just so obvious when you plant the bottle of water beside you. Oh, now what's this about a dump truck?
Well, this is the largest electric vehicle in the world, but it's absolutely fantastic. One of the parts of this is that we often talk about where the electricity comes from for electric vehicles. In this particular situation, and it's not something that's common across mines across the world, but in this particular situation, the mine that they're working on in Switzerland is up fairly high. And the dump truck weighs about 45 tonnes, so it's a fair lump of a unit, and it has to make its way up the hill. Then they load 65 tonnes of ore onto it. As it comes back down the hill, now weighing 110 tonnes, it actually uses the regenerative braking to charge the battery. So by the time it's back to the bottom, it's charged up enough to be able to go back up the top. So again, it wouldn't work in a mine where it's just a flat ground, but in this particular situation, what a great use of A, an electric vehicle, and B, some pretty clever engineering to basically get enough charge back into it because of the extra weight going down the hill to then be able to get back up the hill.
Yeah, sounds like the electric trains on the Blue Mountains. We put power back into the line.
Yeah.
And you do it now with a dump truck.
Exactly right. Very clever.
Very clever indeed. And finally, Toyota have got to take a ticket, 2 gold stars, electric vehicles for the 2020 Olympics.
Well, this is one area where Toyota has copped a bit of criticism across the world, in that they seem to be lagging. Now, they came out with the Prius back in 1997. That hybrid technology led the world, but then they stagnated. They really...
The Prius led the world.
Oh, it did, in hybrid technology.
Yeah, well, as far as a car, well, we won't go down there.
That's right. I know your feelings on that, but so it led the world in hybrid, but they haven't really progressed past hybrid. Meanwhile, the rest of the world's gone to electric vehicles. With the Olympics being in Tokyo next year, it's a great potential example of somewhere where you can actually go and use the technology in your country and show off that. Now, Toyota, obviously being a great Japanese company, wants to use that. So they've got 3,700 mobility vehicles, they're calling them, so a whole range of different sized vehicles and scooters. And the majority of those are going to be electric or electric hydrogen or even electric gas. But they're going to show off the world, yes, we've been left behind a bit in electric, but we're about to catch up and we're about to show off to the world how we're going to do that. And in 2020, they'll actually have an electric vehicle being released in Europe as well, a commercial vehicle. So this will be a chance for them to really show off what they can do in electric.
Well, I was going to say, and what a perfect venue to do it.
World watching.
Yeah, world watching, smart marketing, and a top venue. Very quickly, the celebrities, what's happening there? They've been fooled by an Instagram post.
When you see some things come out on Instagram or Facebook sometimes, you just look at it and you go, I'm not quite sure that makes sense. And this was one that was posted by people like Pink, and they reposted this, where they said, be careful everyone, if you're not aware of this or you don't post these certain words, all your photos, even deleted photos, will be public access by Instagram, and they'll be able to spread those around the world, and make sure you're onto this. The same thing happened with Facebook a few years ago, and it's happened a couple of times with Facebook, and now it's with Instagram. And again, when you see something like that, you take one step back and think, does it seem to make sense?
No.
In this case, no, and a lot of celebrities were fooled. But again, it's very easy to scam someone, and celebrities were fooled by it, and they've got lots of advisors around them, I'm assuming. So it's pretty easy for average Joe Blow to be fooled as well.
Indeed. Well, we've got media advisors like celebrities. What chance has the
right.
average bloke got?
Exactly right.
Good talking with you, mate.
Thanks, Richard.
We shall see you next week. That's Matthew Dickinson and Tech Talk, and it's coming up to 22 to 10 right now, DCFM 88.9 with Macy Gray. And I really do try.